Hey guys, this is Jakob. I'm content manager and I'm helping small and medium enterprises with their content strategy. Welcome to a new content mentorship episode. I'm here with a really cool guy. He's an executive coach. He's transforming leaders within their journey and helping to grow their business. He's a podcast host of the Growth Think Tank podcast. He's a keynote speaker. He's an author, a best-selling author, and he's also columnist on Inc. magazine. Welcome, Gene Hammett. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. That's a long list of things to do. I feel like I should be overwhelmed.
Yeah, I was overwhelmed when I looked on your profile because you are doing all these amazing things, and that's the reason why I'm very excited to speak with you today. So basically, the format of this show is that I have basically 4 questions within 15 or 20 minutes. But before we jump into the questions, just can you quickly introduce yourself? So who are you and what's really your passion? Why are you doing the things that you're doing?
So who am I? You know, I'm a father, I'm a husband, and
Cool.
I'm a coach. I also love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, to give you a little idea of what I do for fun. Do you know what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is?
Yeah, for sure. I'm also Taekwondo coach, so I'm also in martial arts, and I did also some Jiu-Jitsu, yes.
Yeah, I love it. You talk about the passion, you know, why I'm doing what I'm doing. I really have found this incredible place where I'm providing a purpose to the world. It hasn't always been that way. I spent 10 years in corporate America working for other people's dream and getting skills to be an entrepreneur. I spent about 10 years running a business that I wasn't really passionate about, and I was making good money. I had created some freedom, and we were doing about 6 million. I lost it all about 11 years ago, which you know the story there.
Yes.
And that losing it all, literally losing $3 million in 24 hours, as the story goes, caused me to really reflect on where I was going to add value to the world. Because all my money had been stolen, I wanted to do something that could never be stolen. And I thought that the impact I make with others, and so I became a coach and I made that journey. It wasn't easy, but I've spent the last 10 years working with high-level companies, founders, executives. They're not big companies, probably 20, 40 employees, but help them become better leaders and grow their companies. And that's what I'm really passionate about.
So, but why leadership in specific? So what was there some, yeah?
It wasn't always leadership. In fact, I spent the first 3 or 4 years of my coaching journey working with marketing companies. I don't know if you knew that, but I've worked with some web designers, social media companies, marketing agencies to help them position their business to be the choice, not a choice in their market, so that they could grow faster. And I did that for a while until they started firing me because they got to capacity. It really does kind of suck to be good at what you're doing and to lose your opportunity to continue that work because they can't scale the business. And so when I got fired 2 or 3 times, I was like, okay, let me look back and say, what are they doing next? And I started just growing up with the clients I was working with, and I started working on them being better leaders so that they could scale the business, keep up with the growth. And so that's how I become, known in this world through leadership.
Okay, just to make sure that I got it. So they fired you because
they grew too fast. They got to capacity.
Okay, and that's a reason.
One of my clients was an SEO company, and so they went from about 20,000 a month to about $1 million the first year. So, to about 80,000 a month, and then the next year they were doing probably about 200,000 a month. And at that point, they couldn't hire enough people. They couldn't keep the people that they had. And so they were having some leadership issues, but the way that client saw me was to help them grow the business from a revenue standpoint, not from a leadership standpoint. And so that's one example of a client that we're still friends. They have a $10 million business now, because they fix some of those things through someone else. But I wanted to work at a higher level with my clients, so I became a leadership coach.
Interesting. So Jin was doing his job too good. That was the problem, right?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. Cool story. So when it comes to business, so one of the questions that I'm asking is, so what is the best way for you to create content? So what works for you the best?
So I've done a lot of different things, from written content to speeches, which are typically live. They can be virtual, I guess. But I will be honest with you, the best thing I've ever done is the podcast. It's the most streamlinable, meaning it can be systematized. I can leverage my team at a higher level. I can't really have my team write for me, because when I wrote for big publications, it really required a lot of me. Even though I'd have to hire an editor and whatnot, but I had to come up with the ideas and write them. With podcasting, I'm able to identify who I want to interview, who is interesting, who inspires me, and I can invite them on the show. We create content for the business. And so that's really the cornerstone of my business right now, is the podcast. Now, I will tell you, it's not all interviews. Actually, I do a solo portion, which I call behind the scenes. And so I do that in a recorded video. But since we have the systems down for the interviews, my team can take a recorded video that I can come up with an idea and record it literally in 5 or 8 minutes. And everything else just kind of runs through the system that my team processes all the back end stuff and puts it up online and gets it all out in the right places. So that would be the best kind of marketing channel for me, is that podcast that is systematized and allows me to create more content at scale. So we're publishing 3 episodes a week. And we just done, I think we just around 750 episodes over the last 7 years.
Wow. 3 episodes a week, each 1 hour, or how long are they?
So interviews are typically 20 to 24 minutes, give or take. And the solo episodes are probably 5 to 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So the podcast was also for me a game changer. So my first US client was through the podcast. So you're building relationship, you're building trust with the podcast, because people they are seeing you, you're interacting with them, you're sharing stories, and that's the best way to win the trust of somebody. Yeah, that's cool.
Absolutely. It does help when you're, really focused on the right audience that you want to attract and create content just for them. And that's really, I think, probably moving into the second question, but I want to make sure that you can lead the show here.
Yeah, you did your homework. That's very cool. So just to create context, I'm always sending the questions up front before the live sessions, so that my guests know what I'm going to ask. So, but you said something very interesting about the podcast. You said the systems. So this means you have processes established already that help you to make everything as easy as possible, right?
As easy, hopefully as high quality as possible, and to be able to get into multiple channels. The systems behind it allow me to be sort of the talent, and my team can actually do all that back end stuff. They're much better at it than me, so that's a bonus for them. I pay them well for all of this, and we're just, it makes it a lot more efficient for me, because I just get to show up for the interview, and then they do everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're doing the magic in front of the camera. That's great. Yeah. So, what's your best way to generate new clients for your business?
It's 2 things here, and I don't want to get complex. I want to make it very simple. The first one is, you've got to really know that you're creating content for a specific person. Most people are too broad. I've made this mistake before. I've had clients that have made this mistake, where you're just trying to attract general business owners. It doesn't work so well. In this area of our content cycles, there's too much content, there's too much noise. You want to make sure what you're doing is specific to one person and is unique in a way that it attracts them. For example, my podcast isn't for everyone. I'm not trying to be the biggest podcast in the world. It's very niche centric. I study fast growth companies. Many of my clients have been on the Inc. 5000, which is an honor for the fastest growing companies of the last 3 years, privately held in the US. I do work with some clients that are outside of that, but I create content specifically for that founder, CEO, and that they want to listen to it. And they can't get this content anywhere else. So it's really specialized in who it's for and what we talk about as far as the problems and the pain points and the challenges they're facing. So that's part one. Part two is a little bit of a secret. I don't know what the right way to say this. I call it the podcast funnel, but I will say that we interview people that are successful founders, CEOs of fast growth companies that have something to share with the audience, but also those relationships when they come on to do an interview, we're taking them further. We're building some rapport, and many times they're sharing with me what their challenges are, and sometimes they become clients, sometimes they become clients down the road, but those are the two kind of places that we're generating clients from.
Yeah, amazing. That's just love it. So I think this idea that you can use content in order to build a relationship, and maybe not now, but on the mid or long term, also work with these people. That's something that I'm also living, but most people underestimate this because they just want to push their content and run ads, but they don't think about content in a win-win creation part. They don't think about this one. Yeah, that's cool. So when it comes to marketing hacks, so what is your best marketing hack for your business?
I don't know if I think in the way of hacks. I can tell you we've done a lot of things that haven't worked. We've tried a lot of different things. I will tell you just a couple of things that we do that does work. One is if we do a long form content, and even an 8-minute video is long form because that's a long time to ask for someone to consume your content. So we'll do a minute version of that is really kind of a tease to the full 8 minutes, if you will. So I call this micro content. And every time I do a short solo episode, we'll do a micro piece with that. We've also had some good results with taking some of the interviews we do, pulling out excerpts of those interviews, putting them into different channels, whether it be video or written. And we are taking content from a longer form piece of work and getting it out into the channels to get more interest. The real hack, I guess, if you would, back when Facebook was allowing you to target and pixel your traffic and whatnot, I was putting in ads for $1 a day. And I can spend a lot of money to grow my business, but I didn't have to because I was just basically putting my content out in front of people, paying $1 to make sure it gets out in front of people on a consistent basis. And it's a pretty good way to make sure your content is being seen. And so that when they think of you in the markets that you're going after, they keep seeing you over and over and over, even if they don't listen to it fully, even if they just see it and they get a good feeling from what you're creating, that you've added value to them before, you stay top of mind. And that's a very important thing to do in the noisy world of content marketing today.
Yeah. So when you run these Facebook ads, when was this? When you run $1 a day?
Just a retargeting ad, just people that have come to my website before, and nothing fancy. I did a 180-day pixel, if you guys know what that is. Just bringing back people who have been to the website. And the reason I know it works is it doesn't necessarily, I'm not spending a lot of money, so it's not, I'm not tracking the conversions or anything like that, but I can see a difference in the downloads on my podcast. And if I get a difference in the downloads of my podcast, that means people are taking that little bite-sized information and going back to their podcast player. They're going back and remembering me. And that's kind of what I use it for, is that micro content just keeps me top of mind. It's a good way to make sure that the content you create today is seen by others. Even most of the stuff we have is evergreen. Leadership is not something that kind of goes out of fad. Marketing tactics are maybe a little bit harder to do this for, but the micro content has really helped us extend the brand to be top of mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, awesome. Love this idea. So you have this long tail and you're breaking it down into micro content types. Yeah. Okay, cool. So one thing that I'm very passionate about is AI and content. So if you want a competitive advantage for the next couple of years in the mid and long term, you need some AI tools or AI technology that is embedded in your own content stream. So, or it doesn't have to be related always to content, but some AI tools. So what kind do you use AI tools first of all? And if yes, if you use, what kind of tools do you use?
Right. This is one area where I'm probably not going to add that much value because I'm not sure if I'm using any AI tools. Now, I will tell you every once in a while, we're going to Google Keyword Planner. We're trying to figure out what content is our audience looking for. We try to create smart SEO content words and keywords around that content. I'm not sure if you would say that's AI or not. We are using Facebook, which has got some intelligence behind that. But again, it's not my AI, it's someone else's AI that's making that work for us. But I haven't embraced that level of stuff. I have a small team. I am really good at creating content. I'm really good at the coaching. I'm really good at enrolling clients inside this world and serving them to the highest level. I don't run the marketing for my business. So I would have to go to my team and say, are we using any tools like that? But I don't think we are.
Yeah. Yeah, for example, what I also use is a tool called Descript, and it's a video editing tool, and you can basically, if I uploaded it, this software is generating the whole transcript. So I can use the spoken words that we have as, for example, as a blog article or as a complete transcript. Or I'm using snippets from this transcript also for social media. So I don't have to start from scratch. This is also an example. But the one important thing that you said is oftentimes we are not aware that there are AI tools already implemented. Really, most people say I'm using MailChimp. MailChimp also has AI tools or AI technology, and this is something that we are not always aware of. But interesting point. And thank you for being so open and for your answer. Thank you.
Given that you're saying that, we are using transcriptions and we are using different tools that I don't know. I actually asked my team. We have a 15-minute meeting every day, 10 to 15 minutes. And I asked them what tool we use, and I didn't even know the name of the tool, but we're using that for content after the fact to help us in different ways.
Awesome. That's great. Cool. So yeah, thank you for your time. So is there something that you want to share with the community? Is there something, a message that you have? Doesn't have to be related to content, can be also leadership, or something else that you want to share?
I've always got something to share, and I will leave you with this. Anybody who's out there that's on the fence with content or has some kind of inner voice that says, I'm not good enough, maybe I don't look good or sound good on video. I used to sound terrible. I used to have my team tell me that, oh, we could do this again, we could do this again, and I would do it again. I was trying to be patient with myself, and I used to do the same thing over and over. I used to give my hand like this. Can you see me doing this? Every time I tried to make a point, I would do this little thing. I don't do that anymore, but I do think that you should not listen to that little inner voice or inner critic inside you that says, don't get started, don't do it now. Just keep doing it, get better and better and better. After 7 years, I'm much better at content. I'm much more comfortable. A lot of it's repetition. Sometimes I don't even do the best stuff. I do it pretty quickly, but I also am okay with it not being perfect. I've made it up in my mind that it doesn't have to be perfect, that my clients just want to get the content. They want to see a real side of us. And so I just keep putting out content. I don't let any of that stuff stop me. And I would urge you not to stop yourself, to really expand beyond your comfort zones. And this was everything. No matter where you are, just keep expanding, keep pushing and challenging yourself to think bigger, keep moving. Don't let that inner critic get in your way.
Really cool. So perfectionism as your enemy. Just start and create your first video, because it will be terrible. The first 1-2 hours will be terrible, but you will improve.
You do improve. You can go back and delete the old stuff if you want to. I don't leave it, because if someone finds it, maybe that turns them off to me. I get that, but I also know that there'll be somebody that says, I saw the progress over the last 2 or 3 years, or the last 5 years or 7 years. The idea is to progress. Everybody you know had to start somewhere. The problem is, if we go back to the bio that you read for me, you say professional speaker, writer, author, coach, and podcaster, and all the things that I do inside the business. I didn't start doing all of it. I started with one, and I continued to build on. Some of them have faded out. Some of them I've doubled down on. But just start and find what works for you. Just keep moving. That's what if you want to grow your business, just keep moving forward. Mm-hmm. Get some help and support. Find a mentor, find a coach that will really help you and challenge you and support you, because that has been a game changer for my life. Getting coaches have added millions and millions of dollars to my life, my businesses. And you don't have to hire me or hire anyone you hire anyone you want. Just get someone to support you and help you grow beyond where you are today.
Yeah, cool. So if people want more information about you and your business, where should they go?
The website is genehammett.com, which is spelled right there in the video. If GeneHammett. The podcast is Growth Think Tank. Those are the two main kind of channels for us. But really appreciate you having me here, sharing my story, sharing my perspective on some things. And now it's time for you to go out there and do it. Get creative and make it happen.
Yeah. So amazing. Thank you very much, Gene. I really appreciate your time and your wisdom. And yeah, I hope if there are any follow-ups or any questions, you can type it into the under this video, or just DM me also. I will or DM Gene directly, also possible. You're good available on LinkedIn, right? You're very active.
I am, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So if there are any things to the community out there, just let us know and we will answer it. Okay, thank you very much, Gene, and hope to stay in contact and see you soon again. Yeah.
All right, bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.